High Admiral Zeth Kura stared at the recruitment data with mounting disbelief. In the 3 centuries since the Galactic Empire had established the Voidwalker Corps, only 17 beings had volunteered for the position. 17. Across 47 star systems and countless species. The job description was simple enough. Solo reconnaissance missions into uncharted space beyond the galactic rim, where reality grew thin and unspeakable horrors dwelt in the spaces between stars. Average mission duration, 6 months. Average survival rate, 12%. Previous occupational hazards included temporal displacement, psychic contamination, encounters with entities that existed outside conventional dimensions, and the ever-popular complete dissolution of molecular cohesion. Most species considered it less a job and more an elaborate form of suicide. Then humanity joined the Empire. Within 24 hours of posting the recruitment notice on Earth's networks, Zeth Kura's office was flooded with 50,000 applications. By the end of the week, that number had grown to over 2 million. The applications came from every corner of human space. Former military personnel, civilian explorers, retired scientists, teenagers who had somehow bypassed age verification systems, and one particularly memorable application from an entire extended family who wanted to go together. "This must be an error," Zeth Kura muttered, scrolling through the endless list of eager volunteers. Her aide, a nervous Trandon named Clicks nervously, shook his head. "No error, High Admiral. We verified the applications. They're all genuine." The humans seemed to consider it exciting. Zeth Kura pulled up the first application at random. The human's name was Rodriguez Miguel Santos, former asteroid miner. His cover letter was brief. Spent 15 years boring holes in rocks. Ready for something more interesting. "When do I start?" The next application belonged to Thompson, Rebecca Jane. Occupation, kindergarten teacher. Her letter read, "If I can handle 35-year-olds hopped up on sugar paste, I figure I can handle whatever's out there in the dark. Plus, excellent life insurance will finally pay off my student loans." Zeth Kura felt a migraine developing behind her primary eyes. She called for an emergency session with the Galactic Psychology Council. "It's unprecedented," Dr. Velneth explained, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "Every species we've studied exhibits a basic survival instinct that prevents them from actively seeking lethal situations. Humans appear to have evolved past this limitation. Or they're collectively insane," suggested Counselor Dresk. "That's what we thought initially," Dr. Velneth continued. "But our analysis suggests something far more disturbing. Humans don't just overcome fear, they're motivated by it. They've built entire industries around artificially creating danger for entertainment purposes. They call it extreme sports." Zeth Kura reviewed the psychological profiles with growing alarm. Humans regularly threw themselves out of aircraft for fun, descended into underwater caves where death waited in every shadow, and climbed mountains specifically because they were there. Some even paid money to be frightened by manufactured horrors in something called haunted houses. "There's more," Dr. Velneth added quietly. "When we interviewed the applicants, many expressed disappointment that the survival rate was as high as 12%. Several suggested modifications to make the job more dangerous. Against all military wisdom and several strongly worded recommendations from the Psychology Council, Zeth Kura approved a test batch of human voidwalkers. 20 volunteers were selected and deployed to the deadliest sectors beyond the rim. 3 months later, the impossible happened. Not only did all 20 humans survive their missions, they returned with comprehensive reports, detailed star charts, and what appeared to be vacation photos. One had somehow established diplomatic relations with an entity composed entirely of crystallized screams. Another had mapped 17 previously unknown dimensions and rated them on something called scariness potential. Most disturbing of all, they submitted requests for extended deployments. "The really spooky stuff doesn't start until month 4, explained Walker Patricia Kim during her debrief. "We were just getting to the good parts when you recalled us." Within a year, the human-dominated Voidwalker Corps had mapped more unknown territory than the previous 3 centuries combined. They established first contact with beings that had existed before the birth of stars, negotiated trade agreements with entities that communicated through existential dread, and somehow convinced a primordial horror to join the Empire's cultural exchange program. The other species watched in stunned silence as humanity turned the galaxy's most feared profession into its most coveted posting. Applications from humans now included waiting lists, competitive examinations, and something called extreme resume padding. Zethkara finally understood the truth that would reshape the Empire's understanding of the galaxy. They hadn't found humanity's breaking point. They had found humanity's idea of a good time. The deadliest job in the galaxy had become, in typical human fashion, just another extreme sport.